Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your host Bella,
And I'm your host, Melody.
and I had a question for you. um, have you ever struggled with comparing yourself with anyone to social media?
Like on social media,
Yeah, like any social media app like Instagram, I don't know, TikTok,
you know, I,
Pinterest.
I actually never thought about that. Like, I never thought, like, have I compared myself on social media with other
Mm.
people, with their life? And that I think that's something that, yeah, I think I have compared myself to someone before. And I think that's something that a lot of us tend to struggle. I don't know if you agree, but it's now because of how we use phones in our daily lives. They're now like incorporated in our daily lives
Mm.
because of how evolved everything has been. And have you guys also compared yourself to, I don't know, some friends on social media, celebrities, people your age that are doing things bigger than you? Like, have you ever caught yourself comparing yourself, or maybe even feeling like envy for those people?
Yeah, and I know that's something that we all struggle with, especially like in our youth when you're barely gonna hit puberty or just being in school in general. Like
Yeah,
just people that you see at school also like being comparing yourself to them and saying like, oh, like they have better things than me or they do this better than me and I don't like
yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah, that's super true because I think it's just true. I think um, we all have to be careful how we use social media.
Mm.
Like we're talking about right now, me and Bella, how you can maybe sometimes caught yourself being comparing to yourself to friends, being envy of people. Like I'm gonna give you guys some examples because maybe right off the bat you're like, no, I don't compare myself, but maybe after I say these examples, you might come into a realization of, hey, actually, I think I have compared myself and I didn't know it. So here, let's start with, for example, let's say you're middle schooler or something. Your friend just got um they got an award at the awards assembly or at the graduation that you didn't get an award that says that they're one of the high learners at the school, for example. And let's say you're like watching them, you're just watching them, and then while you're watching them you start feeling these feelings of like, why didn't I get that? How did they get that? I didn't get that. Like you might think like why is it that I don't have that? Why I want it? I also
Mm.
wanted to have that. Like that's a little bit of comparing, a little bit of envious, because envious is like, how do you say it? Actually, can you look up for the definition of envious so we could tell them what envy means, so you guys
Yes.
are aware about what we're talking about with that word when we say it?
Envy is a negative emotion characterized by resentment or sadness at another person's good fortune or possessions, often accompanied by a desire to diminish or take away what that other person has.
So that's what envious means. And comparison is, they're pretty similar.
Mm.
Comparison and envy are pretty similar. Comparison is just seeing the other person, how they are, let's say, doing better than you. And you compare the things that you guys have, like in your mind, you're like, well, she has that, I have this. Okay, but they have that, I have this. Or I have this, but they don't have that. Like comparing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like another example could be like on social media. You're, let's say you want to hit a fitness school, right?
A
And you're
fitness
like,
goal?
yeah, a
Okay.
fitness school, like on your physique or just personally like a weight on the scale, or you're doing it with a friend also, like, oh, let's do this and let's see how much weight we lose, right?
Yeah.
And it's like let's say you didn't lose anything, but that person lost 20 pounds in a month and you only lost three.
Yeah,
And it's like you start comparing yourself, like, we literally did the same thing. How did I not lose that much?
that's true.
And that's another way that you guys might compare or might be in that situation. And I understand that it's hard, it's hard to like be like, okay, I can't be comparing myself, it's me. And it's like in the Bible, in Genesis 1 verse 27 says, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. So guys, God created us in his own image, which is very cool.
Yeah,
Cause, and I think it's something that we need a reminder of, knowing that we're created in God's image. And I know sometimes it might be hard to see that, because I know for me when I was younger, I struggled with like looking at myself in the mirror and being like, why can't I just look like, I don't know, like this? Why can't I just look a little bit slimmer from here? Why is my nose like that?
yeah,
Like, those are things that I personally struggled with and would compare myself to other people on with my friends
like
sometimes, and I would be
physically, like
like, yeah,
the way you would look.
and I would be like, why do I have to look like this? But now, as I grow older and I'm reading the Bible, it's like you understand it more and you see how you shouldn't compare yourself to
Yeah,
others.
yeah, that's true because I think majority. I wouldn't be able to speak for the men or the boys, but I know that majority for like the girls and the women, it's like a thing where you compare yourself at a certain age. You start feeling insecure, you start comparing yourself, how you were
Mm.
saying, to these other people online, and you're like, why do I look like this and they look like that? Like, why can't I look like them? Why can't I have my nose like this? Why can't I have my face like this? Or my lips like this? Like that. Certain things of like beauty wise, I guess you would be able to say. And I think it's true, like sometimes you could cut yourself comparing yourself in that way that you were saying. And I
Mm.
think I said it's very important that whenever we see that we're in these situations of comparing ourselves to someone online or even in person, that we pause, we take a moment to just pause and realize, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm comparing myself with this person. Okay, well, why am I comparing myself with them? And I want you to think, like, why is it that I'm comparing myself? Am I not happy for them? And do I want what they want? Or like, what is it, right? I think after you realize what is the reason behind your comparison, you
Mhm.
can be able to combat. How is that how you say it? I think I cannot say it right, but like you could be able to combat it really easily now. Am I saying it wrong?
I think
I
so.
think I am, guys. Compact, combat. I don't know, but like you'll be able to, let's rephrase it. You'll be easily able to tackle comparison, how it is. You'll now know basically the cause of it. Why do you do that? And I think it's important to know that because sometimes without realizing we could be comparing just because we're jealous of them
Mm.
or just because we want what other people have. And talking about wanting what other people have right now, we have to realize that each and every single one of us is in a different path. God has a path for every single one of us.
Mm.
Now it's on us if we want to follow what God's path is, or if we want to go to the other side and do it our own way. I
Mm.
think that's very important to understand here. What do you think, Bella? Because like I have seen people throughout my life who have gone the path they want to go. Like they create their own path, and they chose not to go God's path. Now, I think it's important to realize that whenever we do that, we're not walking in according to God's will anymore. We stepped out of God's will. And I'm not saying that, oh, everything's going to go bad, but I'm saying everything's not going to probably go the way you want because God already has something prepared for you.
Mm-hmm.
He already has prepared the path for you. He knows what's going to happen to you. He's building your character. Like, He's doing all these things for you, but it's on us now. We want to continue walking. If we want to either walk on the path or if we want to go and do whatever we want to do. What do you think? Like, do you also think that it's important that we should keep that in mind that God has a path for every single one of us, and it's also on us to either choose that path or go our way, our own way.
I think that is something that you should keep in mind. Yeah, whenever you're comparing yourself sometimes, I think you should keep that in mind and be like, you know what? It's not my time yet, and it's okay because God has something better. I don't know if you guys seen those like
Like,
pictures that they show up where you're wanting this little tiny bear, but God has this huge, humongous, bigger, 10 times bigger bear waiting for you to come to him so he could give it to you. And it's like sometimes we're a little stubborn. No, we're not a little, we're stubborn.
it's because I think,
and
yeah,
and it's like we just need to keep that in mind to know that they're on their path and you're on your own path. And that we all have our own times when we're shining. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, I know that sometimes you may think, like, oh, well, God has, wait. I know that sometimes you may think, like, I know that God has, plans for me.
yeah, like a purpose and plan.
And He has a plan for her. But why is she shining and I'm
Like
not?
right now, in this
Yeah.
moment.
Like,
What
you might think to yourself, why is she shining and I'm not? Like, that's not fair.
What do you mean by shining? Because I don't know if the audience will
Shining,
understand that.
what I mean by shining is like, let's say, you're both recording a music video, or you went to um, audition in school for choir for a musical, and she got the lead role, and then they have another one, and she gets the lead role again.
Oh, okay, and then you'll be thinking like, why is she getting the lead role? When I think,
And
when you're like, I want to get the lead role. Is that
and
what
you're
you
like,
mean?
yeah, and let's say you're practicing so hard every day after school so that you could get the lead role, yet she gets the lead role and you don't, and you feel like all the effort that you put into it is being thrown away. But the thing is that it's not being thrown away. It's just a part of God's plan, and that's why those are some things that we should understand and keep in mind. Even though it's hard to see it at the moment that you're going through it. But yeah, I do think that is something important.
Yeah, it is.